Hey guys, Bird Yugioh here, coming at you with another deck profile. This time it's Counter Fairy. I'm not gonna lie, when the ban list dropped and Solemn Judgment went to 3, this is probably the first deck I thought of, as far as decks that could just abuse Solemn Judgment at 3, because it's obviously one of the best counter trap cards ever made. So yeah, this is a deck that just loves counter traps and loves its light fairy type monsters. So let's get right into it. 3 of one of the best cards that we play is Bountiful Artemis. Each time a counter trap is activated, immediately after it resolves, you just draw a card. So it's great draw power. You want to see this one basically any way you can, either through Ties of the Brethren or just hard drawing it, just having it in your hand. 3 Guiding Ariadne. You don't actually really use its monster effect. I mean, if it happens to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you're basically going to be searching out a counter trap, and your opponent chooses one for you to add to your hand out of 3. But mostly what you're going to be using this for is placing it in scales. And when its scale effect is you do not pay life points to activate counter traps, and you don't discard to activate counter traps. So cards like Solemn Judgment and some of the other counter traps that we play are basically just free negates. So definitely play that card. It's very good in this deck. Another one we play, we just play one of the Minerva. Each time a counter trap is activated, immediately after it resolves, this card gains 500. And if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, which we don't play the field spell one, we just play the continuous spell card one, because it's just way better. Then you can you add one counter trap with a different name from your graveyard to your hand. So it kind of just helps recycle some of those counter traps that you used, and it gains 500 attack. So you can get this thing up to a lot of attack and win that way. The other one we play just one of is Meltiel, Sage of the Sky. This one, each time a counter trap is activated, after it resolves, you gain 1,000 life points, and if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you destroy one card your opponent controls. It doesn't have to be face up, just any card. Another one of Light Fairy that we play is Power Angel Valkyria. If you negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect, you can add one Light Fairy from your deck to your hand. So in my opinion, it's the least useful, but it does have a high attack. And sometimes you do want a Light Fairy in your hand. Most of the time you don't. You want counter traps, but play Barrier Statue of the Heavens. No monsters can be special summoned except for light monsters. It's just simple as that. So it does shut off, quite a few decks. It's very good with Ties of the Brethren. That's the only reason we really play this card, is because we play Ties of the Brethren. Honest, all these monsters are light fairy type, and so this is just going to boost their attack during the damage step. And also you can, say you have these 3 out off of Ties of the Brethren, you can then use this effect to add it to hand to then, protect them from being destroyed by battle, basically. It's a good little kind of lock, because for the most, for some decks that don't play light, they're not going to be able to special summon anything while this is on the field, so they have to, normal summon a monster and try to attack over it, which if you have Honest, that's going to be, pretty hard to do. And then the last monsters that we play is 2 Sacred Arch Air Knight Parshath. It has an effect where if it's in the graveyard or the hand, and you activate a counter trap, or if you negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect, you can banish 2 other fairy monsters from your hand, field, or graveyard, and you can special summon this. So if it's in the grave or the hand, you can do that. We play 2 because we play this the trap, Rebirth of Parshath, and that's going to special summon this directly from the deck. I actually don't play the extra deck one. I just really haven't gotten around to getting it, but this one's way better, because also if this guy deals battle damage, you're going to be adding a Parshath card or counter trap, which most of the time is going to be a counter trap. So it actually has an effect on the field that is useful, whereas, the extra deck Parshath card that you can special summon is more or less just a body on the field, which I think, getting resources is more important than just a body on the field. So yeah, I play that too, because like I said, you can summon it by its effect, but then also from the counter trap. So that's it for the monsters. Low count, because it's counter fairies, so we want to do mostly trap cards. Play Sanctum of Parshath. Like I said, I don't play Sanctuary in the Sky, but this is treated as Sanctuary in the Sky while it's on the field, or in the graveyard even. This has quite a few effects. Monsters on the field, fairy monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. Set spells and traps cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And also, once per turn, you can target a total of 3 fairy monsters and or counter traps with different names in your graveyard and place them on top of your deck in any order. So it's recycle, it protects your traps, and it boosts the attack and defense of your monsters. So it's pretty much everything you want in a card, for counter fairies. 3 Ties of the Brethren. You basically open this and any one of these, and you're going to have a pretty good board, which obviously, hopefully you have some counter traps as well, and you'll be getting some of your fairy effects off. But yeah, that's just a great starter card. You kind of want to see it. Battle phase isn't that important, and 2,000 life points, not that big a deal. Some of the draw power. So I like Cards from the Sky. All you have to have is this and any light fairy monster in your hand, and you're just going to flat out draw 2 cards. And this one, you can't special summon or conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card, but hopefully those 2 cards you're drawing, at least 1 or 2 of them is either this Parshath card or a trap, and then you're just gaining advantage. And the only other spell we play, draw power again, is Pot of Duality. Again, special summoning is not that important. The only way you're going to be special summoning is either from the trap, Rebirth of Parshath, or Ties of the Brethren. And so, if you open these first turn, most of the time you're going to want to be doing Ties of the Brethren and not using Pot of Duality. So they obviously clash a little bit, but it's not that big a deal with a deck like this, where you can just, sometimes you'll draw 1 monster and 4 traps. You normal summon 1, have 4 traps. So yeah, just some normal stuff there for counter fairies. And then now for the traps. Best one you have to play, since it's off the ban list now, is Solemn Judgment. Like I said, if you have Guiding Ariadne, this is just a free negate anything and absolutely everything, and you will not pay life points. But even if you have to pay life points, you're paying half your life points to just stop whatever your opponent's trying to do. Then another really good counter trap that you want to see a lot is Solemn Strike. Play that, of course, at 3. And then the 1 Solemn Warning. Basically, these are they're the best counter traps in the game. They're just amazing to just stop your opponent. And if you see, 2 of those, just flat out negating stuff, 2 things that your opponent's trying to do is probably going to be pretty detrimental, if not just end their turn. So, and as I mentioned before, we do play Rebirth of Parshath. I played at 3. You're not going to be resolving it. Hopefully you don't draw 3 of this one, but it's really good. It's just another Solemn Judgment, basically. When a spell trap or monster effect is activated, you reveal 1 counter trap in your hand, discard a card, and pay 1,000 life points to negate the activation. And if you do, shuffle that card into the deck. So like if it's a monster effect that they tried to do, that's not even going to the grave. It's going straight to the deck. And then the last thing is, then you can special summon 1 Parshath monster from your deck or extra deck, which we don't play the extra deck one. You're going to be wanting to special summon this guy out off of this effect. So that's the reason we play 2 of those. So you can at least get 1 of them off and special summon 1 out. Yeah, it's a great card. And again, if you have Guiding Ariadne, basically you're going to be just revealing a counter trap, and that's it. You're not going to be discarding a card or paying the life points, so it pretty much becomes free. Another one plays Divine Punishment. This is one when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated while Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you negate it and destroy it. So you have to have this with the Sanctum of Parshath, and it becomes free negation again. And the last one is Ultimate Providence. When a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, discard the same type of card, either monster, spell, or trap, and negate it and destroy it. So again, with Guiding Ariadne, becomes free negate. So you just want to open up, one or two of those of your negates, and a Parshath card would be nice, and then a fairy monster on the field, and you're usually going to be sitting pretty good. Extra deck we'll go into pretty quick. It's not that important at all. It's just kind of utility, if you need to. The links, Hippo Shinnigan, just because we play all lights, so easy to go into, and it boosts the attack. And then if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one light and add it to your hand. Underclock Taker, just to get a little more damage. If there's a problem monster that you kind of need to destroy by battle, you can boost up your light fairies and attack over them. And then just general kind of destruction removal kind of stuff. Nightmare Cerberus, a Phoenix, and a Unicorn. Just kind of utility, like I said. You can play a lot of different stuff in the extra deck here. Tsukiyomi, it just requires 2 light monsters, and you're going to detach. So if you kind of have a bad hand, but you're able to get 2 monsters on the field, that's a good way to just kind of fix your hand a little bit. Starliege Paladimo, you're going to be using this in the battle phase just so you can, because you're going to be targeting one face-up monster your opponent controls and changing its attack to 0, and then its effects are negated. So that's a good one to just kind of beat over some stuff. Abyss Dweller, it's really good against some decks. Dugaris to special summon, or just draw power. Daigusto Emerald, if you happen to have a good amount of monsters in the grave and are able to get him out, he's really good for just, again, adding some resources back to your hand and back to your deck. Tornado Dragon for problem back row, if you just absolutely have to get rid of one or want to. Baguska, just, more utility. Exiton to blow up the board. 101 to just flat out steal an opponent's monster, and Diamond Dire just to pop any card on the field. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. Again, I'll post down in the comments some more decks that I'm working on. You guys can keep requesting some stuff that you want to see. I'll keep working on them and getting them posted for you. But yeah, this is a very fun deck. Very budget. Most of these come with a structure deck, actually. Almost all these do. But yeah, go and subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and we'll catch you on the next one.